Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of the Geek. Doggone it. What the? Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. We got a lot to talk about tonight, but first, let me go ahead and bring everybody on. Hope everybody can hear me. Let me go ahead and bring in my first panelist for this evening, my co-host, Seven. What's up, man? How you doing?
Well, I gotta say, I love the background. I'm a big fan. Oh, no.
Hi.
No, man, it's a good day. The Red Sox won. Dallas Cowboys still suck. Like, you know what? It's a good day. It's a good day.
There you go. There you go. All right, let me go ahead and bring in our next person. He is with me every Saturday night on the Geek on the podcast, and bring my man Ando in. Ando, what's up? How you doing, brother?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for another edition of the Sports Reports podcast. I am the ever so elegant color commentator, Ando. We are going to try and keep it PG-13 tonight, but no promises. The reason I say PG-13 is because if I keep watching the Mariners play baseball the way that they played last night, I might just NC-17 myself after seeing them get beat by 17 runs. Like, how is it that Bryce Miller in his last two starts have given up like 40 runs in his last two starts? Like,
It's a couple of things. So first of all, Bryce Miller actually needs to be careful because he's facing a cease and desist from Taco Bell for giving runs away the way he is.
Dang.
Secondly,
I hate you. I hate you. I hate
look, that
you.
I'm sorry. That joke was just bubbling right there at the top. The other thing I'll tell you, Ando, is I'm going to give you some words of comfort to start the night. I was thinking about this today. You know what? You know the Mariners only have one less World Series in this century than the Yankees. Just one less. One good season, and you tied the Yankees for World Series in this century.
We don't deserve to go to the world. We don't even deserve the playoffs this year, man. Like, we are that putrid of trash this year. I can't believe it's taken me over 130 games to realize that. But the Mariners are garbage. I might, believe it or not, I might just buy a Boston Red Sox hat so that I can wear a letter I'm proud of. Because if I keep wearing that letter S on my head, people are going to think I like shit. And I cannot do that.
The thing of it is, you have to remember, you're going to be a bandwagon fan. Red Sox, we accept all. We don't judge. However, there's a couple of things to remember. Bandwagon fans have to sit at the back of the bus, and that's where most of the fights are. So make sure you have health insurance. That's all I got to say.
All right. Fair enough. Will knows all about that, don't you, Braves fan?
Oh, yeah, we know. Bulls fan too. All right, let me go ahead and bring in our next person. He is making his triumphant return to the Sports Report podcast. My man, Daniel Richard.
Hey guys,
look at the porn stash. I got the bottom half of the goatee. I like that you got the mustache, Dan.
Oh yeah, it's real, everybody. It's real.
Yeah.
The porn stash.
It's real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He just wants to be like Wade Boggs. And Wade Boggs in the 80s and 90s had that epic Dennis Eckersley style mustache.
So have you seen Wade Boggs recently when he's fishing?
He's at full beard now, isn't it?
Dude, but like he's ripped too. He's like
he is.
And he's like, dude, he's jacked. It's awesome. Yeah.
I haven't seen him recently.
Yeah, I just saw
he actually looks really good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He quit drinking, and apparently, that did a lot for his health.
Especially his weight. Imagine that.
Give me 1 second, guys. I got a phone call coming. This is my daughter. Give me 1 second. Seven, take over for a moment.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? Let's dive into the first topic. Ando, what's the name of the prospect from the Browns that's going back to college?
Daquan Wright.
Daquan Wright going back and using another year of eligibility after getting cut. Ando, what do you think, man?
I got mixed feelings about it, man. First things first, I don't know much about Mr. Wright. Did he get officially drafted out of college, or was he a person who went into the draft, didn't get drafted, and was picked up? That would be my first question. Because I think if you get drafted, you
lose eligibility. Yeah,
I would say, yeah, you should be allowed to continue to go to college if you're working on your degree or looking to graduate or whatnot. I think that absolutely should. But I think any plans of college athletics should be absolutely off the table. You're going to college again. It is student athlete is how it is processed, right? Student comes first. One of the things that I took away from, I think, Samuel L. Jackson's 5th best movie, Coach Carter, is student athlete is important by the standards of student coming first. So if you're going to college to be a student, that's great. You had your time as an athlete. No one will ever take away the fact that you should go back to college and stop learning. Like, people will tell you never stop learning. But I think there should be a point where it's like, hey, let the kids play, right? You had your time. The Browns gave you an opportunity. And if you can't make it on the Browns, maybe the Jets, maybe the Giants give you an opportunity. One of those two teams. New York has a lot of bad apple teams. You have an opportunity there. There are lower football leagues for you to play in. The XFL, the UFL, whatever they're calling it nowadays. One of those two leagues should give you an opportunity. I don't like it so much from the athlete's standpoint. If he's going back to get his degree, hats to you, man. Way to have a plan after college. But if you're going back because, hey, I'm not that good. I tried it on the professional level. I got cut. Now I'm going to go back and keep playing where I'm good. No. I don't like it from that aspect.
As far as I know, he was undrafted, and that to me, I think that to me is the difference. And Dan, I want to get your thoughts on this too, just because like you spend a lot more time watching college sports than I do. I'll admit that. For me though, like I agree though, if he was drafted, I'm sorry, bro, but that's it. But if he wasn't, honestly, I don't hate him going back to college because, in my opinion, I think he's going to get better development playing college this year than he will saving it and going to the UFL, like, or even like arena football. I'm a big fan of arena football, but no, he's going to get better development playing college football. And if the school will take him, and he can go and build his case to be drafted, I don't have a problem with it. I don't want this to be a doorway to where we've got guys coming out after freshman year and trying to get drafted and going and spending their time in NFL training camps and then going back to school. But if you declare your junior year, you test free agency, you don't make the team. Go knock out your senior year, get closer to your degree, and develop a bit before you come back and try again. I don't hate that. Dan, what do you think, man?
Well, just to be clear, I think that we're all talking about the same thing. Athletically, they're not going to be allowed to come back if they've declared in any way professionally. So,
no, there was a court ruling. He is allowed to go back and play. He's eligible.
Okay, so Ando was right. If he gets drafted, then I think that's the cutoff where they can't come back and play in the college. He might have been undrafted, and you kind of skated the line there. It obviously, and we're only talking about the 1% here, guys, that make it to the NFL from college anyway, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's right. Most of these guys are going to just get their degrees and then not move on professionally, and then they'll use their degree obviously professionally in life without the football thing going on, right? So I think he should go back. I mean, if he's already had his junior year though, like he has a pretty good chance at making it in the NFL, obviously, right? You know, if he's just a little bit, so maybe come out next year, you'll be fine. But yeah, like you guys were saying, I don't think they should be able to just switch back and forth and go, like we can't Wild West it and just have them be doing whatever they want and then, come back to college then, right? So like, yeah, so there needs to be a line drawn there, but I'm fine with it. I think that he should, I think he should go back and get his education, obviously, because he's probably not going to use it in the NFL anyway, right? Honestly, if we're being honest, like who makes it in the NFL? There's only, what's he play? He plays corner, right?
Tight
Yeah,
end.
he was corner. Yeah. He was some in the secondary. I think he was corner.
No,
okay. So
according to this, it says he's tight end. According to the article that was posted.
I stand corrected. Maybe I'll see it.
It's all good. It's all good.
Which is about the same as far as the depth chart goes. They're going to have about 3 tight ends. They're going to have 3 or 4 corners, depending on
right.
Corners probably a little bit more highly stocked. So like, yeah, if you come out as tight end, he's got even less chance probably of making an NFL roster. So, I hope he goes back and gets a degree, and then you can use that when he's not playing in the NFL, right? Because that's ultimately,
yeah. But realistically, very little chance he develops enough in a year of college football to where he's going to be able to not just improve over getting cut from the Browns, but actually make that or another roster. Like that's kind of a big blow. And teams are kind of, it's the hard thing about professional sports, especially for the Big Four. Like they're going to get one look at you, and if they're out, they're out, and that's going to be the end of it.
I mean, very rarely will you get another team to look at you. Like Kurt Warner, when he got cut by the Packers, a lot of people thought that was going to be it. Hats off to him if he can make it happen. But I mean,
it's very rare that it does.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, most of the guys you're looking at on starting on NFL rosters are first, second, third round picks. Like they were guys who were already going to be that's what most of the rosters are filled with is actually guys who were going to be starters. Like they're not. Yeah. So, yeah, very rarely get the Kurt Warner story where he. Yeah. That's a good story, but it's very rare. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely amazing story. Kurt Warner from Northern Iowa, by the way. And I just have to point out, for those of you that cannot see on screen, Dan is wearing a red and white Cornhuskers hat that says Iowa has bad corn. Again, I'm going to try and keep it PG. You need to take that hat off, sir. That is very disrespectful to Iowa.
But that's the thing. I think that's one of the things
I work for you, Ando.
Kurt Warner's story so unique.
Right. As long as I'm aware.
That's one of the things that make Kurt Warner's story so unique, though, is because most guys aren't going to get that second look that he got. I mean, and even when you look at like the Arena League in the late 90s when he was playing for the Iowa Barnstormers.
Yeah.
Like he got laid out multiple times in the championship and he threw multiple interceptions. Like it was not a good game for him.
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, he's playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
As a member of the St. Louis Rams. Like, you don't normally see, because, like, you struggle in the Arena League. Mm-hmm. Where are you going to be selling furniture at? Where are you going to sell cars at? Like, Malcolm gets your autograph and buy a car for him. Yeah. That's normally what happens to those guys. And so this kid, you guys are exactly right. He should make sure he prioritizes his education and gets that degree, because he's probably going to need it. And I would hope he can recover, be a good story, maybe does some heroic shit for a team. Like I love those stories. Yeah. But realistically, he needs to prioritize his education.
Right.
All right. So Deshaun Watson made his return and got booed. Did not handle the press conference well. Imagine a guy with power and control issues getting booed by the fans, rightfully so, in my opinion. And his response is narcissistic. Like, who would be shocked? How can you not be shocked by that kind of behavior, right? And then we have Dan Orlovsky today on ESPN actually said that should be the reason why he's not on the team anymore, because of how he handled that situation. Like, that's not a leader. That's not someone you want that's a leader in the locker room. And I get that. Dan, was what happened really big enough thing that Deshaun Watson doesn't deserve the chance to start?
I mean, if you're separating everything professionally and right, I mean, it's just so weird because it's a different kind of profession where he's one of the very few people that could actually fulfill that position. Does that make sense? So like, no, like, yeah, I think that he did everything that, I think that he should get booed and all of that stuff. Like, it's obviously we're not going to forget about it. But at the same time, like if he's the best quarterback, like I don't know if I'm the person to tell him that he can't professionally do right after like, yeah, I don't know if he should be professionally stopped from what he's doing because I don't know how that works as far as like the rarity of what he does for a living. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of the very few people that can do what he does for a living and all that stuff. Like I don't, obviously not a great guy, right? right.
Nope.
But like,
just a little.
But neither was Babe Ruth. So I'm just gonna like we're not the judges of morality here. We're talking about what happens on a football field, which is a game of violence. That some of these guys are going to be prone to violence in their outside lives because that's the warrior lifestyle that they live. Is you know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be hard to turn that off all the time. It just is. So like I don't know. It's Deshaun Watson's he's a different case.
I just think
he's different.
I just think right now with the way he's playing, if he was playing well, I'm not saying all would be forgiven, but if he was playing well, it would be better for him. But and then the press conference that he had did him no favors.
No.
Right.
No favors at all.
Does Deshaun Watson test the saying "winning cures everything"? Because even if he's winning, does it really cure everything? It cures a little bit, but he can win the Browns a Super Bowl, and it'll actually probably be more outrage that he won. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll hate him more. Like, oh, now he's good. That's great. Like, yeah, there's almost no way he comes back from this.
No.
Deshaun Watson could lead the Browns to a 17-0 season, win the Super Bowl decisively, MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and he is still going to be looked at as that guy.
Probably more so. He's going to be like in the spotlight, and people are going to be like, "Wow, what a
the conversation." Yeah, you're right. The conversation is just going to get louder. Ando, what do you think, man?
Sure.
Dude, I said it since day one. Nobody should ever be given that much money to play sports. All of that money guaranteed. And I think he has, six or seven wins in his time in Cleveland. You have to remember, the guy has not played up until last week competitive football in almost 22 months. I think they said about 21 months and like 28 days, I think is what they said. So 22 months. And the last time that we saw him, he had a torn Achilles on a football field and the home team cheering. Now, I'm going to break it down into two compartments. First off, Cleveland fans, it's the Cleveland Browns. I get it. You go through hell. And then on top of that big, giant brown emblem that you guys wear on your helmet, as a helmet, you have a quarterback playing. Yeah, well, it's orange. Yeah, who cares?
I'm just kidding.
I'm talking, sir. To have your quarterback that you're paying $252 million to play like absolute dog shit. I get it. You're testy. You want production on the field as the fan of that team. I said it when it happened 2 years ago that you should not be cheering injuries. Even if you absolutely do not like the guy. There are people that I absolutely despise in this world. I do not wish harm. I do not wish any bad or ill feelings towards them, right? You always turn the other cheek. That being said, Deshaun has so much to prove over the first, I would say, 6, 7, 8 weeks of the season. If Cleveland, even if Cleveland doesn't play well, if his numbers show the completion percentage is up, the turnovers are down, he doesn't take sacks, I think the fan base in Cleveland will take a step back. I think even if they go 6-2, 6-3, if the turnovers are there, if he's making really dumb decisions, right? Let's just say hypothetically the defense pulls them into games that they should lose offensively, but the defense keeps them in it. Not that I think that that's going to happen because their defensive anchor, Myles Garrett, is gone. But even if Cleveland looks good this year, the worse that Deshaun Watson plays, the more that fan base is going to get away from him. He has to prove that he is a Cleveland person, start doing charity events, be the focal point of everything good that team has to offer. And I think Seven's right. Even with all of that, I think the fan base turns on him despite it. I think we are looking at the final opportunity that this man has to play football. I don't think there is a roster that will, even at a league minimum, would take a chance on him just because of the baggage that he has between Houston and Cleveland.
I kind of have like a serious question about Deshaun Watson for you guys. Do you think that he's just playing for the money at this point? Like, because if the money wasn't there and like the responsibility of being the Browns quarterback,
he's
that's what I'm saying. But he also has obligations to fulfill. That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think that he's only playing because they gave him all that guaranteed money and he feels like he owes them something for the money? Or because if the money wasn't there and he didn't feel like he owed him anything, he'd probably just be gone, right? I mean, because everybody hates him. You know, like, why would he want to just be out getting booed?
I think the team would have cut him by now. I think this is more of Cleveland being like, hey, we owe you this money, so you are going to earn it. Regardless, like, unless you get hurt again, your ass will be on that field. Like, at this point right now, this is like a disgraced dad looking at his kid who wrecked his car and being like, you are going to pay me back this money. So you're going to go out and mow everybody's front lawn for the $5 that it takes, no matter what, no matter how long it takes for you to do it.
Like a slave gladiator, kind of.
Either
he fights or he dies.
First off, I hate that you said slave with Will on the show, man. Disrespectful. Disrespect.
Good God.
Disrespect. Look at the face of that man, sir.
That connection was not even made until Ando said it.
Will was thinking it.
He wasn't.
It's all good.
But no, I mean, I think it's very nuanced that you said it like that, Dan, that Cleveland is going to get the money that they paid for out of Deshaun Watson one way or another. I don't think at this point he said this is actually a really good opportunity for Shedeur. So now he can learn the playbook more. I think he was kind of I think we all agree he was thrown in prematurely last year. This is the perfect situation for Shedeur. When he takes over, this is his time to shine.
It's like, I don't know what's going on with my camera, but it's like, you don't want to say rock in a hard place per se, but
why not?
Because the reason why I say that is because Shedeur himself isn't where he needs to be.
Agreed.
It's one thing if he was where he needed to be and you're paying Deshaun all this money, then you could say a rock in a hard place because both guys will be qualified. Shedeur ain't ready. We all know this. He ain't ready. So it's tough, man. I always thought Shedeur myself. Who else? I think Dylan Gabriel is still there as the number 2.
Yeah, it's Dylan Gabriel. I'll take a look at the roster real quick, but I'm pretty sure your 3 quarterbacks that you have on that team are Deshaun, Dylan Gabriel, and
that have a
Shedeur.
legitimate shot at starting, right? Because they probably have right now. But
I don't know if it's Madden. Everybody has an opportunity because again, it's the Cleveland, freaking Browns we're talking about, y'all.
Damn.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You ain't lying though. You ain't wrong.
I lied. Taylon Green, their rookie that they drafted, I think out of Arkansas, is their 4th-string quarterback.
I forgot about him. Okay. Yeah.
But he'll probably be a practice squad quarterback if the Browns carried three quarterbacks into the season.
Man.
Yeah, rookie out of Arkansas. Yep.
It's crazy. Did you guys already talk about Mr. Wright's situation?
We did. Yep. What's your take on that, Will?
I think it's stupid. I think that even though you failed, you have other avenues other than going to college or going back to college. You got the UFL. That's one place you can go, make some money, learn your craft. To go back to the NFL and go back to college after being drafted, going through an NFL training camp.
Oh, wait, was he drafted?
Yeah, it said he was undrafted. According to the article, it said he was undrafted.
Let's say if he was drafted, my opinion changes, but undrafted.
Yeah. He's undrafted. He's been through a training camp, been part of a team. That's ridiculous. We need to fix this. This is crazy.
You guys do realize that LSU and Daquan Wright is not the only player who signed a big league or that went to the big leagues and then came back. No. An article came out on ESPN today where RJ Luis Jr., who is a 2025 Big East Player of the Year, was granted an injunction to play for the LSU Tigers in basketball despite signing multiple NBA contracts. So he signed a two-way contract with the Jazz, and then had an Exhibit 10 contract to play with the Celtics G League, but was waived from both. So he is headed back to NCAA for the 2025-2026 season. Sorry, 2026-2027 season.
Oh my goodness.
For undrafted athletes.
Yes.
Undrafted athletes.
Yeah.
I don't hate going back to college because the competition is better, especially like the kid for basketball. If he can't even stay on a G League team, where else does he have to go?
Yeah.
Is he supposed to go to Big Three?
Europe. I wouldn't put him on the Big Three team.
You look at Europe, but like if he wants to stay in the States, if it's better that he has a chance to work on the education, then
if it were for education purposes, like I said, I'm all for it. But because you failed, you think you can go back and get another shot? I'm not okay with that.
Playing against kids, bro.
Maybe he'll shut up, Brandon.
Playing against kids, bro. I know they look like grown dudes. You playing against kids, bro.
Yep.
Freshmen, sophomores.
Yeah.
You've gone through an NFL training camp 2-3 months.
Yeah.
You're part of a team. Come on, man.
You're like that old guy who hangs out in the high school parking lot because you were the cool kid back in the day. Like, man, move on, brother.
Dan always says, the best thing about 18-year-olds is there's new ones every day.
Yeah.
I get older and they stay the same age. All right.
Yep.
Damn, man.
He said it. But I get flack for the stuff that I said, but Dan's okay with that. Yeah, whatever.
Well, he's quoting a movie.
TV
you're
show.
causing me to have to do paperwork.
Family Guy was a TV show, sir.
And it's 18. It's legal.
Fair enough.
So,
but yeah, it's crazy, man. That whole situation is crazy. Well, we need to fix that. We really do, because there's other avenues he can go, avenues that he can pursue that would be better than going back to school. Because he ain't going back for educational purposes. We all know that.
He's going back for the football and the booty.
The legal age of consent in Nebraska and Iowa, by the way, is 19. No, I'm not kidding. It really is. You would think it was 18 everywhere. I'm just kidding.
Damn, dude.
God damn it, Dan.
No, I'm being serious. It's a real thing.
Hey, does that mean he's going to HR first and I'm not?
Oh, he's going to HR.
No.
Okay.
You're the static appointment. He's the occasional visitor.
You're the static appointment.
At least I know where I'll be Tuesday clock at 9 a.m.
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. Wait. I got to stop this. Because I'm just now seeing this. And you did it on, I think it was U7 on Saturday. We've come to this point to Brenda Song is making her NFL color analyst debut.
She did a good job. She knows football.
Yeah, she does. Did you see her last meals interview with the guy who does last meals? Like, she broke down what Chris Shula should have done. Like, she knows her shit, bro.
I'll have to watch this. Yeah, I have yet to see her do that.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Go watch clips. Like, there's a little bit of it where you're just like, oh, kind of a little bit of the stereotype there. But like, as far as the actual like content, like the delivery was a little but like content wise, like she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm all right with it. I mean, I'd rather listen to her input on a game than Booger McFarland
or Tony Ramos.
So there are some male. Are there male color volleyball announcers?
None with their mics.
I really don't know.
No,
like there's male volleyball.
They
coaches,
don't want to have to. They don't want to have to put like the Lexan in front of the stand so that the volleyballers don't get sprayed with anything. That's more of just a logistics issue.
Good God, HR guy. Good God, HR guy.
That's our HR representative, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the example that we have to follow.
Yeah,
a spray guard.
Yeah, that just shows how bad Ando is, because he goes over that bar.
Yeah,
like that's what it is.
Yeah,
I'm offended, sir.
Ando tried to get me in trouble earlier. HR guy, he tried to get me in trouble earlier with a slave comment.
All right, well, what do we got next, man?
All right. It looks like for the 49ers, we're getting George Kittle back. And I wanted to know if the 49ers can get healthy, can they truly compete in the NFC West if they get healthy?
So, Dan, I'll let you take this one first, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. That roster's they lost Fred Warner, correct?
Fred Warner should be coming back.
He should be coming back
Oh,
soon.
he is back. Okay, yeah. So
I'll double check to make sure, but I'm
He should
pretty
be coming
sure
back
he's still
soon.
part of the team.
Yep.
Yeah. And doesn't it depend a lot on, Brock Purdy at this point, right? It depends a lot on Brock Purdy and how he plays it.
Yeah, Brock's still with him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that their roster can. They can definitely compete. You have obviously you have the Rams over there, which doesn't help them a whole ton. But yeah, I think they can be good for sure. But staying healthy, that's always the question, isn't it? Especially with seems like with the 49ers.
Yeah.
So.
If they can get healthy on paper,
right,
I still don't like them winning the NFC West. I think the Seahawks. I think it's the division. I think it's the Seahawks division to lose, but I think the team in line to take them out are the Rams. The Rams on paper did a hell of a lot more than the 49ers did. That being said, if Debo can stay off the goddamn donuts, Mike Evans has another 1,000-yard season. Christian McCaffrey gives me 1,000 on the ground and 800 through the air. I like Christian Kirk as a third string wide receiver. George Kittle is always a problem. I like the 49ers, but dude, we've talked about this for the last 5 or 6 years. They do not stay healthy. And when they don't stay healthy, they're not competitive. I would argue that if this team takes any more injuries, they have 7 guys, 6 guys. They have 6 guys out of their starting 11 on offense at the moment, questionable to start the season.
Yep.
Arizona on paper could look as good. I know we're giving Jacoby Brissett and Marvin Harrison a lot of leeway with that.
Oh yeah.
I don't like the 49ers' chances healthy taking the division, yet alone if they can't stay healthy.
What you think, fellas?
I think that a lot of that division hinges on whether or not the Seahawks have a Super Bowl. But I also think with the 49ers, I'm at a point with them because the last 5 or 6 years they've had injury issues. The last 5 or 6 years they've had really talented rosters.
Yeah.
One of the best offensive minds in football. And in his tenure, you've lost the Super Bowl twice. You've been plagued by injuries and problems despite having on paper one of the top 5 talented rosters in the game multiple times over that span.
When you say
for the 49ers, I think their glass ceiling this year is a wild card.
And it's going to be the final wild card.
Yeah. That's the last wild card slot.
Yeah. And I think you're being generous when you say that too. I think.
Oh yeah, real generous. I
think you're going to see 2 teams out of the NFC North, be it that it's Chicago, Green Bay, and or Detroit. I think one team from the South, and I would like to see Tampa Bay, but I think it's Carolina's to lose, and then I think you see Dallas and Philadelphia take it. So that leaves you one, if not no extra wild card spot.
Well, arguably you could have 3 teams out of the NFC East in the postseason.
You think Washington?
No, because the Giants are not going to be a joke this year.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are going to play some football. Like we know that they're always
Joe.
And the Eagles, arguably the Eagles got worse at wide receiver. We talked about that last week. I get the locker room impact of losing AJ Brown as a positive, but you don't win Super Bowls in the locker room. You win them out on the field.
Can I make an NFC West hot take right now? I think it'd be a hot take. The Seattle Seahawks will finish the season with a losing record. That's a hot take, isn't it? The defending
honestly, I think with them it's going to go one of 2 ways. Either they're going to run that division dry, or they're going to be at the bottom of the division.
I think Super Bowl hangovers are real things. I think World
It is.
Series hangovers are real things. Yeah.
Very much so.
Well,
Yeah.
what their first 6 games that they play this year is Super Bowl rematch against the Patriots. Then you have a Cardinals team in Arizona. The Cardinals always play Seattle real tough in Arizona. You got at Washington, who the Commanders, we said it on paper, probably look better than they do, especially Jaden Daniels looks better.
Mhm.
You got a playoff team in the Chargers, and you have a rebound in the 49ers. And then you got to go to Denver to take on the Broncos. You're taking on, hypothetically, 3 or 4 playoff teams on paper, 5 playoff teams on paper. The only one I don't think you see in the playoffs is the Cardinals. If they start that out, I think anything less than 3-3, you're in for a tough season.
That's fair. I mean, no, it's fair. And that's the thing. Like I said, it's make or break for the Seahawks, honestly, and that Super Bowl hangover has to be considered. But it's until it's proven, it's their division to lose. I stand by that. They're the Super Bowl champions for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of talent on that team, but it's very possible that we see that struggle.
And it's kind of sad to say, but it's like, if anybody's going to have a Super Bowl hangover, Sam Darnold just seems like a guy to have a Super Bowl hangover, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You're
It
not
seems
wrong.
like
You're
his
not
picture
wrong on
might
that.
be in Super Bowl hangover. Like, yeah, it just might be there.
Yeah.
He's done what he
You're not
needs to
wrong
do
on
for
that.
his whole career now. Like, his whole career is, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but
Before
Seahawks are
Before we bounce away from the NFL, I do want to say that there was a trade announced earlier today between the Patriots and the Texans. That Keontae Booty got traded from the Patriots to the Texans earlier today. That's one more time that Mike Vrabel was looking for a booty call, y'all. Bam! Dropped it right there. Dropped it. Let's go.
he had AI write that joke for him.
No,
He
I
did.
actually was.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I will stand on principle. I heard Annie Agar say that joke earlier today, and I could
Oh,
not
so
beat
you
that.
just stole it. So you didn't even have AI
Well,
do it. I got
first
you.
off, it's Annie Agar. Has anybody not seen Annie Agar? She might be the most prettiest Packer fan there is out there, and that's
Really?
saying something because there's like 9 Packer fans out there. So
I mean, hold on though, because like the attractiveness level of Packer fans, like it kind of just depends on when you're drunk. Because like a girl can go from looking at Roseanne Arnold to looking like Annie Agar if you get enough whiskey deep.
this is true.
So
This is true.
there's a spectrum there.
I do got to say this, though. If Annie Agar ever watches this show, I love the content she does with her brother. Her brother, I think, suffers. He suffers from something, and I don't want to say it on camera. It could be
Cerebral
wrong.
palsy.
I think so. I think that's where I was going with it. But he rips her ass whenever the Lions beat the Packers. I absolutely love that. Like it is the funniest stuff to see her just kind of hang her head and her brother just sitting there and shit talking her. Like I love that. I love when siblings post stuff like that online. I absolutely love it. So did Will.
All right.
I think 7. You should take it over. What's next?
I'm thinking so. Okay, so next, Chiefs O line has not looked the best in preseason. Ando, you can go ahead and take this first. Is the Chiefs O line going to be an issue on their path to try and get back to the Super Bowl?
It's going to be one of the problems that they have. I think offensively, something is not clicking offensively. I think a lot of it will kind of iron itself out when Patrick Mahomes comes back. I am not happy with the way Justin Fields is playing. I actually would argue that for the final preseason game, we have Garrett Nussmeier start and see how he plays with the first and second team. I really like how he's thrown the ball in the preseason. But I would argue to say the offensive line is, I think, one of 3 problems that we have. We still don't have a running game, even with Kenneth Walker.
Nope.
And the receivers, just for whatever reason, are not making catches the way that they need to. I think the offensive line will be the biggest concern because I think everything else will iron itself out. Yeah, for us Chiefs fans who watched the 3 Super Bowl wins in the 8 years of dominance, we could be looking at another rebuilding year this year, guys. So just kind of be ready for that.
I don't know that it's a rebuild year, but I think that there's concerns that need to be addressed, and with the fact, I think a lot of the rhythm issues, because a lot of Kansas City's issues right now are just rhythm.
Yeah.
And I think that when you deal with a lot of staffing changes, the will he won't he for Kelsey, and now you're looking at the fact that you've got Eric the Enemy back, who's one of the biggest hard asses in football, and I mean that respectfully. Like I love him as a
Oh,
coach.
absolutely. Way better than Matt Nagy.
Way better. But at the same time, there's some adjustment there, and so I do think Kansas City is going to look rough out of the gate, but I also think that Brett Veach should be doing everything he can right now to try and find an available piece at a cost that makes sense to add some depth to that line at least. Maybe find somebody that you can plug into your weakest spot.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I will say this: Creed Humphrey is a good guy and a natural leader. I think he's got to do some more to get these guys into a tighter act, especially for that line. He's the leader there. He needs to do a little bit more. And I can't do everything if he's making sure they know their assignments and they're still messing up what they're supposed to do. Like that's not his fault. But I do think we need to see some of Creed's leadership in that O-line room, especially when it comes to looking at film and breaking down and how they need to be doing things. Because I think out of everybody on that line, he knows the offense the best. I think out of everybody in the offensive room, he probably knows the offense in the top 5.
Between him and Trey Smith, and when they get Trey Smith back, I think that will be a major plus that they got. I will say
I'll agree with that. Yeah,
I will say this though: the bright spot for the Chiefs' offense in their first 2 preseason games, and I know I said the Chiefs haven't been running the ball well as a team, but I got to give a shout out to Dan Emmett Johnson from Nebraska. If DeMarcado has any issues in the first couple of weeks, Johnson's going to take that second string running back behind Kenneth Walker. That kid's a beast. He reminds me of Pacheco when he's running downhill. Not afraid to take a fucking hit. Like he's something.
He's probably one of the toughest. I've been watching Nebraska football for a long time, and they've had a lot of tough running backs, like a lot. And he's up there on my list of toughest guys. Like, dude, he's not a very big dude, but he will run with anybody, bud. He doesn't care.
Do you know who he reminds me of when he runs the football between the tackles? Amon Green is who he reminds me of.
Yeah,
that's not a bad call.
Not bad at all, dude.
And he's a lot quicker than Amon Green was. He's a lot quicker. He's smaller, but he's like a lot quicker. But on the Chiefs, like really quickly, I just wanted to analytically, the biggest 2 problems for them obviously are the offensive line, and then the biggest one is obviously the fact they're not going to have Patrick Mahomes for the first third of the year. Right? I think that's just on paper if we're looking at it.
I mean, he's coming back.
He's cleared. He is cleared to play week 1.
He's coming
week
back.
1. Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to be back week 1.
He's not out.
Okay. Okay, never mind. I thought he was missing a couple with the sorry.
He was dressed for the last game. He was in pads, I thought.
Okay. So he's gonna go week 1.
Yep.
So that's I think that's obviously the biggest news for you. Like, so the offensive line is definitely the biggest problem. For sure. This and I hope that Patrick Mahomes hasn't changed his play now to the crappy offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that he hasn't like started to do the hero stuff like he was doing in the Super Bowl and all that stuff. Like, I hope he hasn't started to do that. Just because he thinks he's going to have no time, right? Like, I hope that they try and set it up so he assumes he's going to have time and stuff. So, but yeah, that's all I was going to say about the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs. Obviously, I like Mahomes. I think Mahomes is the GOAT, but we'll have that conversation for a different show.
I think it's too early to call him the GOAT.
Yeah, no, I think obviously a compliments wise, Brady's probably clearly, but I think Mahomes might be at the end, I guess.
But
it's possible.
Oh yeah. We'll see. We'll definitely see at the end of the day. I think he's headed that way. I just don't think he's there yet.
Right, and will he be as driven as Brady to play that long either? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's his career path was so much different than Brady's. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brady had something to prove the whole time, whereas Mahomes kind of came out and just proved it immediately. You know, so like, I wonder if his career will go the different way and downhill towards the end. But
All right, guys. Sticking in the NFL. As I'm trying to write you guys a message. Sticking with the NFL real quick. I'm gonna skip around a little bit. Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Herbert. Who y'all got and why?
Go ahead, Tim. I can take it.
I'm going to take Herbert.
Good choice.
And it's purely because his arm talent is just that great to me that I can't not. I think that if you could put Trevor Lawrence's awareness into Justin Herbert, I think you'd have a top 5 quarterback. I think that there are a lot of benefits to Sunshine and what he brings to the table. He's gotten the Jags into the playoffs, despite them being in a very difficult road to be able to do so. And I respect that. But when I look at talent, I would take Herbert. I would take Herbert all day simply because there are passes that Justin Herbert completes that Trevor Lawrence could never. But I haven't really seen enough out of Trevor Lawrence to say any plays that he does that Justin Herbert couldn't. So that's
right.
I respect Sunshine, but I gotta go to Herbert.
Yeah, Tony, you kind of hit on what I was going to say there at the end. Like, they're almost the same guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're almost like, if you look at the tail of the tape and everything, they kind of are built the same. Like, they're both 6'6", about 220. Like, they're kind of like, but I think that you're right about Herbert. Just
who behind door number 3? What's up?
I don't get it.
What's up, man? My camera keeps messing with me tonight. Doggone it.
I must have missed that one. No, yeah, no, I would take Herbert because I feel like they're the same player, but Herbert has better arm talent. So like I think that they're kind of the same guy. And I do need your guys' answer real quick on a fantasy football question. 1-word answer. I am a keeper league and I have a tough decision to make. I'm going to keep a quarterback because we play 2 quarterbacks. Okay, so I have Josh Allen and Justin Herbert from last year. Who do I keep out of those 2 quarterbacks?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Okay. I was leaning towards Herbert, and I thought it was a bad decision. And I was like, I like Justin Herbert a lot, but
the hard part about it is with Justin Herbert, this could be I think this is going to be a make or break here for Herbert because Mike McDaniel has a very good offensive mind, and he's now going to have a lot less limits at the quarterback position.
For sure.
And again, Herbert can throw passes that other quarterbacks can't because of his arm talent.
Yes.
And so you've got that. Now on the other side, the Bills have made a lot of changes in the offseason, and we really can't. We can speculate, but we really don't know what we're going to get out of Allen this year either. So
right. It's so hard because they both run too a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Allen runs more consistently for touchdowns, while Herbert usually has a little bit more yardage. It seems like. So like they're so close, and I think they got so. I looked at the last year comparisons on the fantasy points, and they were real close. They were like 2-3 or 1-2, I think. So like it was kind of a tough decision, and I don't know if with Mike McDaniel if Herbert's just going to be going nuts every week, like having 415 yards and 5 touchdowns because they just going to throw the ball over the place. So like I was thinking maybe Herbert just for situation wise, and Josh Allen's been getting the shit beat out of him for how many years now? So like they don't want to run him forever, right? They can't just run Josh Allen forever. I know, but he also has that aspect of it where he's such a hoss, dude. Like he doesn't get hurt. So I don't know.
And that's the thing with Justin Herbert. The injury risk is that's another risk that you take with Justin Herbert. He's not Tua, but he has injury issues.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Whereas
I'm probably gonna.
Allen is. I think for me, the consistency is part of it with Josh Allen. Like that he's going to. That he's going to throw for probably 3,500 yards at least. Probably 17 plus touchdowns.
I mean,
probably over 20. Realistically, he's throwing for over 20 touchdowns, running for 2 or 3 at a minimum. Whereas with Herbert, you're going to have a lot of up and down. You're going to have a 400-yard game, and then you're going to have a 200-yard game where he throws 2 picks because the line's not gelling or he's seeing ghosts. Receivers aren't running their routes the way that they're supposed to. Like there always seems to be something that pops up with the Chargers. With the Bills, well, again, they're going through some changes here. You know more of what you're going to get from the Bills than you do from the Chargers at this point. I think that's where it comes back to consistency for me, because there's a lot of potential with Justin Herbert, but there's always a lot of potential with Justin Herbert.
Right.
And he doesn't have 5 playoff wins in his career.
Yeah, so you guys see my conundrum kind of like, it's like I have consistency on one side where I know that I'm going to get this out of Josh Allen, right? And then I have the other side where it's just this upside and I don't know what I'm going to get out of it. So it's a gamble if I take Herbert. So
Herbert is the gamble, but you're right though. Herbert actually has the higher ceiling, I think.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. As far as fantasy goes, right? I mean,
yeah. For fantasy, like Herbert has the higher ceiling, but you know what you're going to get out of Josh Allen.
And if you guys are wondering why,
you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to get out of Josh Allen.
If you're wondering why I have Justin Herbert and Josh Allen, I'm pretty sure most of the guys in my league didn't see that we start 2 quarterbacks. So I got to go through the draft knowing that we start 2 quarterbacks, and they just thought we had one. So I was like, why is Justin Herbert still there in the 9th round? I was like, I'll go ahead and grab that if I get a second quarterback. But yeah, so that's how that happened. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I'll probably do Allen. I like it.
All right. Next question I have. Bo Nixon is back with the Denver Broncos after going through surgery. How pivotal would his play be for the Broncos this season? I like the Broncos to win that. I love the Broncos to win that AFC West.
Go ahead.
You like the Broncos to win the AFC West?
Yep.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
How pivotal will Bo Nix's play be? He's back now after surgery.
Talk about a wild card on that one too. He was up and down for a second last year. I remember it was kind of a toss up. So I honestly don't know, dude. Like I don't think that Bo Nix's upside is that great. I think that he's able to grind out a lot of games and play their style right or correctly. So yeah, that's a toss up. I feel like the Broncos are always kind of a wild card.
I'm gonna throw out a take here, and some people aren't gonna like it, but I think it needs to be said. Bo Nix is the next Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it's going to be partly because of Sean Payton.
Wow.
Because there's
around a lot,
like he's going to move around a lot. Like it's going to happen. Okay. There is a lot of game knowledge there. I think even for a young quarterback, he knows the game well, and he does have the talent in the right situations to absolutely explode. But he's also in a difficult situation where it is going to be extremely difficult to find success in the division that he's stuck in. Because even if the Chiefs are struggling, which again, this could be a rebuilding year for them. It's kind of a lot of question marks for the Chiefs right now. We're also looking at the Chargers have a lot of question marks. The Broncos, the only team that you really understand probably is going to be a 7-10 team if they're lucky is the Raiders.
The Raiders.
And so
Lambeau Field.
You're going to have to fight for that spot. And I think the AFC as a whole is going to be a battle this year. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to rebound and show their face that are going to make the wild card competitions and the divisional competitions that much tougher. So if you're an AFC West team, you can't count on 2 playoff spots going to your division. And so, we look at Sean Payton, not a bad coach, but he's won 1 Super Bowl. And it was in a season where he was also giving players bonuses for injuring other teams' players.
Oh, don't do him like that.
I'm not wrong, though.
You're not. Yeah,
and that's the thing.
A little extra motivation.
Sean Payton knows the game. Again, another just an individual with a tremendous game knowledge, and I think it's one of the reasons why the success that Bo Nix has found, I think, is in part because of Sean Payton. But at the same time, I also think that Sean Payton loses his ability to make the best decision at times. He's either deciding angry or He's getting cocky, and mistakes happen. That's the legacy of Sean Payton. So there is a whole lot of question marks around what's going to happen with that. And I think enough of that is going to put things in a position where the Broncos decide to just move clean off of both of them. And then unless Bo Nix goes to another situation where it's a bet, like let's say he ends up in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell or wherever Kevin O'Connell is at that point, then I think we see a lot more out of him. But then does he get traded again? Does he get let go after a year, from a free agent deal? And he's looking for another situation. Like, I just think he's going to be the next journeyman because there's going to be a lot of talent there. But kind of like with Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't think you're ever going to find the true right coaching situation.
That's what I was going to say. Do you guys feel like Peyton and Bo Nix are kind of a weird marriage because Bo Nix almost seems like he would be like the grinded out, run the ball a lot, game management type of quarterback, right? And then you have Sean Payton, who's more of an X's and O's, sling it, it's almost like they have a weird relationship as a quarterback coach, just with their styles, it seems like.
Hey,
so they might not be.
What's up, Joe?
Joe Schlepp. No.
What's up?
From my understanding, Peyton is turning over play calling duties this year to one of his coordinators. So that's going to be something kind of new to see. I still like him because that defense is going to be hellacious again this year. Yeah. You got Waddle, another target, Jalen Waddle for Knicks to get the ball to. I like him in that division. It might be a black and blue division, like you said earlier, Seven, kind of like the same division with Pittsburgh, Ravens, the Browns.
Everybody just beats the shit out of each other.
Beat the hell out of each other. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
And they all end up 8 and 9.
8-9.
Yeah, all of them are like 9 and 8, 8 and 9.
Yep.
Just
so you might be right about that one, but I think they're still probably overall the best team in the division, even though they might not always look the strongest. They won a lot of games last year by like 1 point. A lot of close games last year. That takes a little bit of luck, and I don't know if we can do that again this season.
For me, I lean towards the Chargers over the Broncos for the division, simply because I do think that the marriage of Mike McDaniel and Justin Herbert is going to do some interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
But the question of whether or not ultimately they can take the division is going to hinge on if the Chiefs actually gel and if Justin Herbert can stay healthy and Mike McDaniels can stay out of the weed pen aisle.
You hear Fall Sports Lover, what's up, man? Chargers will go 7-10.
I think the Raiders go 7-10, but I think the Chargers, 9-8, 10-7, we're a little bit more realistic.
That's what killed them last year. Was the O-line.
Yep.
That's what killed them last year was the offensive line. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But I just think the Broncos are the class of that division. That defense is just hellacious. Oh my God.
The AFC West needs some tackles and some guards.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What's
team.
Up, Prophet? What's up, man?
What up, man? War Eagle.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting. All right, we're gonna keep staying here on the NFL. We're gonna get to some basketball in a minute too. I got a couple of basketball things. Then we're gonna let Seven go ahead and go over to MLB. Dan, I'll come to you on this one. Are we undervaluing Jordan Love?
Undervaluing? Mm-hmm. No, I think he gets valued right about where he should be get valued at. Like he's their future quarterback. They've given him the franchise. I think that he probably deserves it with obviously a very talented guy. The NFL is hard, man. Talent doesn't get you everywhere. We figured that out. So, are we undervaluing him? No, I don't think he gets. That's a good question, Will. Because now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, we might. But he's a good quarterback. I think he's definitely, obviously, can win a Super Bowl. I think he can. So I think that's all you're looking for, right? Are you looking for can we win the Super Bowl or can we not? And do it with a little bit of style, obviously, because nobody wants a boring Super Bowl champion.
Oh yeah, fact.
Nobody likes the Seahawks. Nobody likes the Seahawks as champions. They gained no new fans. I'm just kidding. No.
I just think that I just think Green Bay has to have a lot to go right in order for them to be successful this season. You can say Detroit may take a step back, but I just think that with the Bears surging, I still think the Lions, Detroit will be there at the end of the day. It's going to be kind of tough. Minnesota, say what you will, but yeah, I think they'll contend. I don't think they'll win anything. They'll get to the playoffs and that's it, but I don't think they'll win anything per se. I just don't like the fact I don't like the receivers necessarily on that team. Running game should be good. Running game should be good though. Running game should be good. But what you think, Seven? Are we undervaluing Jordan Love?
I hope so because the trade offers I've been getting for him in my dynasty league are crap, and I need to get more out of him if I'm going to get rid of him. No, it's Justin Herbert. It's weird because like when I think of Jordan Love, I think of quarterbacks like Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. I think Jordan Love just has better marketing. I think talent-wise, he's kind of in the same level with those other two. I think that he's just had Green Bay's marketing, and he had, a better string of luck. He had a decent receiver core there for a minute. They do need to work on that roster, and
Green Bay mid.
How he handles a down year like this, if he can still grind some wins out and be the reason that they're staying competitive in that division.
Oh yeah.
I think his stock grows, and I think people see more of what was expected of him that we haven't really seen necessarily come as much to fruition, because we've seen some greatness out of Jordan Love. I have him. I picked him in my fantasy draft for my dynasty league for a reason, but at the same time, we haven't seen everything out of Jordan Love that I think that we can. And if we don't, it's reasonable for question marks to arrive. But he has earned more leeway than Herbert or
he's earned more leeway than Herbert?
I think he's earned a little bit more leeway than Herbert. Because results-wise, he's done a little better.
Man,
statistically or team.
Man, I would love to see that. I don't think it happens, but I'd love to see it.
Saints ain't winning shit.
I just think as far as, statistically, they're probably not too far off from each other. And like I said, talent-wise, they're on the same level. And like I said, I think that he has just had, I think one of the things that's in his favor, he has better marketing than Herbert. He has better marketing than Sunshine. And that's one of the things that's worked into his favor. But he's just, I think we've seen a little bit more success out of Green Bay than we've seen out of the Jags, or that we've seen out of the Chargers. And so I think that definitely helps. But they've got to fix that receiver situation, because you can't run 45 times a game in today's NFL. It's not going to work.
No. And
if you don't have at least some kind of a dominance in the passing attack, your running game will struggle. And so I think that's going to be, because a good quarterback can make a receiver look good. And if we see him do that this year, then that puts him ahead of Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. But right now, he's on that same level. He just has the best marketing of the three.
Yeah, that Green Bay American Classic Football marketing is, yeah. Yep.
All right. I'm gonna switch over a little bit here. I'm going to go to some NBA.
Pumpkin pushers.
Over the weekend, Klay Thompson signed with the Miami Heat. Does this move the needle for the Heat in that Eastern Conference? Who wants to take that one?
I'll take it.
Okay.
No, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is not a player at the level to be able to change that much at this point. I don't think. I mean, he's a quality shooter. Obviously, he's a spot up shooter. Obviously, he used to be a very, very good defender. The older he gets, the more that declines. It's the fact that he was never a consistent 3-point shooter. He always had cold streaks that he would go into. Is not great when you get older. Obviously, you need him to just be a machine type shooter. Like, you can't have him be going through cold streaks that get longer and longer the older he gets. So, no, I think the Miami Heat, that doesn't do anything. They have a roster pretty well constructed for a spot up shooter, because they have guys like Giannis and stuff like that. Like, he needs to have the lane be clear, and he needs shooters that he can dish to. But Klay Thompson doesn't move the needle for me anymore. If this was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, he makes a bigger impact. But I think that he's on the backside of his career, and he's, he'll go journeyman status now. He'll help. He doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
Seven, what you thinking?
No, I think Dan said it. Like, is he going to be useful on that team? Absolutely. Is he moving the needle on their chances at an Eastern Conference final? No. I 5 years ago, Klay, yeah, absolutely. And that's I think, honestly, that's the thing. This version of Klay, the Mavs didn't just let him go because they knew he wanted to go to Miami. The Mavs did not want him.
Right.
And I think that's very telling, because honestly, the Mavs still could use some help in a couple of different areas. And if Klay Thompson was still 5 years ago, the Mavs could use Klay Thompson, and they don't offer him a buyout.
Right.
The fact that he's on buyout is very telling to me.
Yep. And now he's just going to be a bench guy who knows that he might try and catch another championship at the end of his career. I think that's what it is right now. I think that's why he doesn't really move the needle. So.
Agreed.
I think it helps because it gives them something they were lacking after the trade for Giannis, but they still got issues. Who gonna bring the ball up for them?
Right.
They don't have a point guard that can bring the ball up for them. That's the thing that kills me. They don't have.
Yeah, it's like somebody's got to shoot the ball. I agree with you, Will. It's like somebody's got to shoot it so that these guys who rebound and, who offensive rebound and do all these things inside can do them inside. Like, there's got to be, somebody, bringing the ball up, which is crazy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like, I'm looking at their guards, dude. They're gonna have to. It's Davion Mitchell.
It is. I'm working on it as we speak, my friend.
But yeah, Davion Mitchell will start at point guard.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be. Yes, Giannis will probably bring the ball up. That's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, probably will. I mean, sometime obviously, but like, yeah, and he's kind of right about that. They don't do it as much as they used to do in like the 90s. The 90s was literally like pass the ball in, right, and they would take 5-6 seconds across half court and then set up an offense on that side of the court. It's so much fast break now that I don't think that it's as important to have somebody who's that floor general type point guard. But you do have to have somebody out there who can handle the ball and be relaxed with it. Because I feel like if you have two guys who are not really relaxed dribbling the ball, it is Bam Adebayo and Giannis. Like, not saying they're bad ball handlers, but they just get kind of sporadic sometimes as far as like they can't, you're not going to trap Giannis and expect him not to make a bad decision sometimes. Right. So I get what you're saying with that.
I mean, you don't want them bringing up the ball anyway. Like, you want somebody who's going to be comfortable with that, and give Giannis, give Bam, give those guys, Klay, whoever else, give those guys the ability to get set. And then whether you're breaking a play or just trying to find a lane.
Oh yeah.
Like, you want them waiting for the ball, not walking up with it. So I think that they're still going to be useful for that, to have that solid point guard, because I think distribution is going to matter on that team. But yeah, no, I honestly, I still don't know that Miami's really more than a first round team at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just super interested to see how they actually play, just to see where they're going to try and score points at. Like, are they going to do a pick and roll? Because I don't know if they have somebody who's capable. Obviously they have a picker, right, and a guy who can roll. But
Yeah.
do they have a guy who can handle the ball through those, right? And like they have plenty of the roller guy. They have a lot of that.
Yeah.
But do they have a guy who can set the offense up first is the real question, and how they're going to approach that as far as some of their limitations is interesting. So we'll see.
Oh yeah, we definitely see. All right, last question I got for the NBA. Last thing that I have for the show. Then we get over to 7. Prime Barkley, Prime Charles Barkley, or Prime Clyde Drexler. Who y'all taking and why?
This is a greater than, less than. It's they play a different position too, so it's weird. Like, do I want the guard slasher and Clyde Drexler playmaker, or do I want the consistency and the rebounding of? I don't. In today's era, I definitely take Clyde Drexler.
Yeah.
If I'm getting him right now, I get Clyde. I'm taking Clyde Drexler. If it's in the 90s, I'll probably take Barkley. That's the thing. So like, I don't. It's with the rebounding and like, yeah, because I think Charles Barkley. Honestly, this might be a hot take. I don't know if Charles Barkley makes an NBA roster right now.
In today's league?
Yeah, I don't know if he does because of the position that he plays at 6'7" or whatever. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if he makes it because like he ain't running on the wing with guys. So he better get taller or get faster, basically.
But I think that some of these guys today, like the speed, just because of how much more speed is a component in today's game. It wasn't in the 90s. And so I think for Barkley was very intentional with how he developed and the skills that he focused on. So I think that if Barkley was coming up in today's game, like these kids are, I think that you see Barkley move a little bit more. But I also think you end up actually, because of his awareness, getting a little bit more out of his mid-range.
That's interesting.
And
just to think if he would have grown up now, to see how he would have developed and then maybe not been the round mound, because like that was
exactly. And so I think in today's game, obviously, I agree. Clyde Drexler is the obvious answer, but I also think that if Clyde comes up today, we're looking at the same player. But with Barkley, I think he comes up today. I think we're looking at a different player, and I still think he's got the elite rebounding ability, but I think that he plays the game differently. He moves quicker, and I think his shot selection is different.
I think one thing that does help Barkley is the fact that Barkley can shoot the mid range and occasionally hit a 3. I think that's something that would help Barkley in today's game. The fact because you're gonna have to be able to hit an outside shot. You have to. You just can't put yourself in the paint 24/7. At 6'7", you can't do it.
Right.
But I do think he can hit perimeter jumpers that will help him. He can run the floor. He can pass the basketball. That would help him. But in today's game, everything does favor Clyde. In today's game, it favors him. But back in the 90s, Chuck all day. Chuck all day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's such a hard question too, because are we talking about them just like in their prime in the era that they played in? I probably take Barkley. But if we're talking about how it translates, their talent translates to today, it's probably Clyde. So they're really real close though. Both fucking legends, obviously.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. All right, that's all I got. I'm gonna move everything over to 7. 7, what you got today for us?
Well, it's perfect that Dan's here because this makes the topic easy. One of the better series that you're going to see towards the end of the season happens this weekend in Yankee Stadium. As of tonight, with Boston beating the Marlins, the Red Sox are only 2.5 games behind the Yankees for that first wild card slot. And the Yankees didn't play today, but that battle in Yankee Stadium this weekend is going to be very, very telling for what we're going to see out of both teams for the rest of the season. And I feel like they're, especially when you look at the fact that out of the AL West, whoever takes that 3 seed is going to there's a potential for them to come in with a losing record. And then you're going to have whoever that last wild card slot is, which right now I think standing wise, I want to say it's the Twins or the Tigers, and that's anybody's series. Astros and Detroit. The Astros are a shell of themselves this year. They've done better since the All-Star break. And then you've got Boston and New York playing each other. Boston wants to have a home game because they're starting to get energy at Fenway that they haven't had because they started the season so terribly.
Mm.
New York wants it because, Yankee Stadium. That is a home field advantage in and of itself, and even I'll admit that as a Sox fan. Dan, as you look at this series and how the rest of the season is going to go, how much of an impact do you think this weekend has?
I do agree with you that it's going to be a really fun series to watch, obviously, because it's going to be high. They're close in the standings. It'll be classic Yankees, Red Sox. We all know we know about that, especially as Red Sox Yankees fan. The biggest, obviously, factor that we're missing out if we're talking about the playoffs and in the future, whether or not we're going to get home field advantage, we don't have Aaron Judge. So Aaron Judge changes the way that our entire offense functions, and he's good defensively too. But obviously, our offense is the issue right now. Our pitching is fantastic, and that's carrying us along. We're winning a lot of 3-1, 2-0 games, which is weird as a Yankees fan. And our offense is kind of anemic. But Aaron Judge changes our entire offense and the complexity of the whole offense. So I think that that's such a huge factor. But this weekend, it's going to be a good one. It should be a good I think if we had Aaron Judge, I would feel much more comfortable about our matchup consistently against Boston. But obviously, we don't know exactly when Aaron Judge is going to return. So, this weekend will be fun, though.
And I know Kyle, I saw your comment about it's the Astros and the Guardians are kind of looking at that, who you're looking at that last slot right now. But if the Astros win the West, that probably ends up putting the Guardians or the Tigers in that last slot or the Twins, because those three teams have been very up and down this year, and nobody expected the White Sox to do what they're doing. But right now, like, all of those teams are floundering. And so with the fact that whoever wins the AL West, there is no clear winner in that division right now. All three of those teams that are still in it are just not great. Like, there's no other way to put it. They are not great right
just now. Just atrocious.
And so you end up going into a situation where if you're New York or Boston, you really hope that whoever takes that 6th seed takes out the Astros in the first round and in the wild card.
Yeah.
And the reason behind that is if they don't, you're playing Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
If they do, you're playing probably Chicago. Because as of right now, that's the Central is Chicago's divisional round. And you would much rather have that divisional round be against Chicago than against Tampa Bay, because they're playing on a different stratosphere right now.
See, isn't that creating problems with the playoff seeding, though, where we did the division winners get the higher seed? You know what I'm saying? Because then we're getting wild card winners that have better records than the division winners, but the division winners get it automatically. So then I feel like the seeding should be changed so that doesn't happen. Exactly what you're talking about. Where
it should, yeah. and that's a completely different discussion. Like, if you win your division, you're guaranteed a playoff spot, but it's still reseeded based on records. Because honestly, right now, like, if you look at it, Boston is actually, like, when you look at the American League, a very telling team stat right now is Boston has been staying right around that second in run differential in the American League, and like 3rd or 4th overall in the league. And so, like, as you look at how they're going to finish the season, like, realistically, it's entirely possible. Let's say Boston does well this weekend, finishes the season well, they get that first wild card slot. They're they're the second best team in the American League, but they're still a wild card team that has to fight through because Houston or Texas or Seattle was guaranteed the chance to host a playoff game despite having a losing record, which I don't think teams with a losing record should be allowed to be the higher seed.
Yeah, and like just because you won the division, because then it creates matchups in the playoffs that we too early that we shouldn't be seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like we want it to set up so that the two best teams with the two best records would play in the ALCS or whatever, right? Like so instead of and we're getting weird matchups where a team that should be playing in the ALCS is losing before that because they had to play the team that wins the World Series. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just kind of a weird thing. And I know that's a whole hell of a conversation. You're right. It is a weird year in the AL.
It is.
Like Tony and we're used to it though, because like this is how it always is. It's just like I don't know. It's very down the middle. It's weird.
But the AL is so top heavy because you've got like in the AL East. If you look at the AL East, you could have had the AL East take up all three wildcard slots this year if either Baltimore or Toronto had actually played to the potential that they had. Because Baltimore looked halfway decent going into the season. Toronto only got better on paper in the offseason, and they barely lost the World Series. Like, Toronto should be contending for the division, at least in thought. But, we talked about that World Series hangover is real. We're seeing that painfully clear this time. We're right now with Toronto. So
Vlad Guerrero has a year-long hangover.
Yeah, like Vlad Guerrero, what, like 5-7 home runs this year? Something like that?
Did you know that he hasn't, listen to this, he hasn't homered in the Rogers Center at home in Toronto since the playoffs since the World Series Game 4 last year. Hasn't homered in his home stadium.
Yeah,
he's been playing the whole year.
It's been over a year in a regular season game. It was like June of last year, I think, is what it was.
Whew.
Like,
that's rough.
That's how bad, and that's how bad things are in Toronto this year. But like, if Toronto plays up to their potential, you're looking at Tampa, Boston, New York, and Toronto all vying for that divisional spot, and then boom, whoever doesn't win the division, there's your 3 wildcard slots. And then you've got Chicago winning the Central, which nobody saw coming.
No, nobody.
Even people in the White Sox organization, like, wait.
Don't say that you did. You did it.
Even people in the White Sox organization, like, wait, you play baseball after the first week of October? Like, that's a thing?
Yes.
And
it's cold,
I mean, right? Usually, like, when you look at it, like the AL West, usually you've got your division winner, and then out of the Rangers, the Mariners, and the Astros, one of them wins the division, and then usually one of them gets a wild card slot. And right now, I mean, they're barely you're getting a courtesy invite to the postseason if you're in the AL West right now. One team gets a courtesy invite. That's the reliever on the All-Star team for so that every team has a player. That's what the Astros are, or the Rangers or the Mariners or whoever. And so, but I mean, the series this weekend is going to be huge. I mean, Boston should have at least Trevor Story back by this weekend, if not also Roman Anthony. Like there is, like, and could you imagine another week if we're also looking at prospect call-ups and them having Franklin Arias to help a shortstop? Like that's
in Boston.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of potential. Like the turnaround for Boston this year has been huge, but the Yankees are still the Yankees, and
we've just been consistent.
Despite the loss of Aaron Judge, they've been, they've stayed. We're at or around 500 since he left. Yep. With all the time that Judge has been gone, this is almost the closest, because like last week or the week before, Boston was like right there. But like this is almost the closest that Boston has been with one exception the entire season. And so, and like the league has got to be loving this because the ratings this weekend for all 3 games are going to be huge.
One is probably
and
going
you're
to
going
be
to
on
see a
Apple
little
TV
breath of life in that Red Sox Yankees rivalry, which I think is going to be great. Would like to see
for sure.
like let me see somebody puff their chest up to Aroldis Chapman so he kind of lays him out and gets to rest for 10 games before the postseason like that.
There you go.
I'd be okay with that. Like
that's what we're doing with Judge, right? He can play. We're just letting him hang out. Like we're just like, hey, we need you ready for October, bud. Just rubbing his shoulders. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
And that's the thing. Like, and honestly, I think that's what's going on with Crochet is you can't tell me that he's, as long as he's been down, that he's just now getting back into his throwing program.
Yeah.
Like, they're looking at how if they can just scrape along, right, and just stay in the same spot. And if they can't, they'll bring him back or whatever. But they're just going to hope they can scrape. Well, the Red Sox haven't been scraping, obviously. They've been winning a ton. But
I think Crochet comes back sooner or just completely stays out so that they can save his arm if Boston doesn't make the turnaround that they do. But now that they made the turnaround that he did, rather than have him sit and save his arm in a doomed season, you're looking at the potential of having your starting rotation going into the postseason be Garrett Crochet, Sonny Gray, Ranger Suarez, Peyton Tolley, and Justin Bennett.
But in the playoffs, you're only going to need 3 of those. You're only going to need 3.
3, maybe 4. So I mean, so you'll have 4, and I think Peyton gets moved to the 3rd starter, and Ranger Suarez is your 4th, and his is almost treated as more of a bullpen day. Because you don't, and the thing of it is, the Boston has figured out when it comes to Peyton Tolley, you get the best out of him on 5 days rest. So Boston, if they really want to get that power out of Peyton Tolley, they're running a 4-man rotation in the postseason. They don't have a choice. Because he needs that rest. And so, but I mean, even if you just have just those 4 as your rotation, like that's going to keep up with what you're seeing out of Tampa. That's going to keep up with New York. That's going to keep up with Chicago and Houston and all of these other teams. But you're right, though, on the seeding because, like, really, Yankees-Red Sox should be a divisional round matchup.
It should be further along.
Yeah, and bullpen Bayo, who that's a resurgence to his career as well, him coming out of the bullpen, because they can get 4 or 5 innings out of him if they need to. If Peyton's having a bad day, or Ranger still hasn't found it because he's been struggling since he came back from his injury, and so you get 2 or 3 out of Ranger, and then you have Bello come walk it down for 4 innings, and then you're ready to go set up your 7th inning reliever, your setup man, your closer. So there's a lot of potential out of that team. But now this weekend, I think, is going to be very telling because, and this is no disrespect to the Yankees, but without Aaron Judge there, the Red Sox should at least take 2 of 3.
Yeah.
Should.
I mean, and if we're talking about the 3 and 4 man rotations too, the Yankees are going to go Max Schlittler, Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and have Ryan Weathers, Carlos Rodon, and Will Warren as a 4 or 5 option, which is ridiculous. Like that, the first 3 there.
Oh yeah, it's stacked.
Those are 3 aces.
That's that's why I don't say that Boston has the best rotation going in the postseason, because I think that New York's is up there, and I think that Tampa's rotation does not get enough credit for what they've done this year.
Dude, they're so consistent, and they're so consistent, and they know how to pitch. Obviously, the pitching coaches is great, and like they're just they're very professional as far as how they approach things, and you should never take them lightly. Really, the Rays organization does not get enough credit. That's one person who is undervalued. Is whoever's pulling the strings in Tampa needs to be paid more money. I don't care what they're doing because those guys are geniuses. They really are.
Their roster building is second to none because they have a $110 million payroll and they have arguably one of the top 3 teams in baseball right now.
It's nuts every year.
And every year, like the season they had 107 wins, it was like $140 million payroll.
And they don't beat themselves. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah,
Instead of
no, and that's the
Razer
thing is
themselves,
like
they don't.
they
at
play a
all.
lot of error free. Like you see the fundamentals, they're just taking what's in front of them. It's a lot of the way the Rays play baseball is what Boston started doing that kind of brought them out of the funk they were in. We
Right.
saw Boston. Boston had the most bunts in the league in July as a team. Oh no, you're right. Red Sox. The league would love Red Sox, Yankees in the ALCS.
And will that ever happen because they're in the same division? Or it does,
It's
right? I
happened
mean,
before.
Okay, I was gonna say it sets up like that, so it just has to set up like that, right?
I mean, what it has to be is, I mean, realistically, you've got to have one of them win the division and one of them get that first wild card slot, and then you have to have the other two, like the six, like the 5 and the 6 or the 4 and the 6 have to win their series and go into the division round, and then they have to win in the division round. And then you could see them. Like it would have to set up very specifically for it to happen, but it is still possible to see the Red Sox and Yankees in the ALCS. It's just very rare.
And I don't know if it's the best matchup for that. Like, yes, MLB would love it, but I don't know if it's the best matchup we can get in the ALCS.
No, I think honestly, the league does not want Rays, White Sox in the ALCS.
No.
Yeah.
The league does not want that. And so the hard part is for the league, like you want the Yankees or the Red Sox in the ALCS if you're the league. So you want that wild card matchup between the two to be very, and then whoever that is, you're going to ride them. And you honestly want to hope that one of them can move up and take the division, whether it's Tampa or New York, or whether it's Boston or New York. One of them moves up and takes the division from Tampa. Then you're putting off that Yankees Red Sox matchup for at least another round. So where you can get 5 or 7 games out of it, potentially, and have it, give you a little bit better ratings deeper in the playoffs, and then get one of them. That way you have a better chance of getting one of them to the ALCS.
Yeah, and the better it seems like the Yankees Red Sox play, the better the Rays just keep battening down the hatches and winning series. They just consistently do it, stay ahead of us.
The Rays beat the Tigers today 4-1. Like the Rays. The Rays could break. I mean, because they're after today, they're 78 and 53. 78 and 53 going into the last 30 to 32 games of the season. They're already, they could flirt with a 100-win season. Like I think realistically it's like 97, 98. But they could go on a tear because the rest of their season is honestly kind of soft. I think there might be a couple of division series in there, but even Baltimore and Toronto are basically nothing now. I think you've already played the Red Sox the number of times they're going to. I don't think they have another series against the Sox. I think they might have one series against the Yankees. And that's really one of the bigger series that they've got in the entire rest of the year. So,
and they've done all this without a legitimate superstar outside of Junior Caminero. And they've done starting pitching, speed, defense, and small ball.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yep.
And so, it's amazing. If you're the Yankees, the Red Sox, if you really want to try and go for that division, you got to stop losing. You've got to get your talent back, and you've got to push. And so, Boston needs to get Chris Shea back and make sure he's 100%. Boston needs to figure out what they're going to do at shortstop for the postseason, because Trevor Story, if Trevor Story is going to come back and be Colorado Trevor Story, you're absolutely running with him for the postseason, both offensively and defensively. But if he's not, he's got the great defense, but he doesn't have the bat, then you have to start asking questions. Are you putting Roman Anthony over there? Because he's played a little short before. Are you giving IKF the shot? Because he's actually done kind of well in that role a couple of times with Boston this year. And he's getting ready to come back as well. Like,
regardless, it's a problem kind of, though. You know what I'm saying? If you're
right. It's a problem, and it is kind of a bad problem because it's a question mark. Like, you shouldn't have a question mark at one of the most important positions in your infield.
Right.
Your catcher
No.
and your shortstop, you should not have a question mark at all, ever. If you're a major league team.
Right.
Because you can take ground balls for a week and play second or third. You can stand
You're still
there
kind of
during drills at practice before a game and take enough throws from short and from third and from second,
Right.
and play first.
But
If Raffy Devers
you
can
don't-
play first, pretty much anybody can play first.
But you're saying the only
And-
reason that Trevor Story isn't a liability defensively is if he's at second, correct? Yeah.
I think he would be better off at second, but then are you moving Anthony Siegler over to short like that?
Yeah, they don't
even
have
in
somebody
itself, like
to place it, yeah.
moving him to second just really raises more questions than it answers. So you're like,
Right.
I per the perfect scenario, Trevor Story is ready to be the shortstop.
He just plays
when he
better.
comes back by the end of the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But is that going to be what we're going to get? Like, and you have to kind of ask that question. Like, what are you going to get? Because in a perfect world, you're going to get exactly what you need out of Trevor Story. But
he ain't ever going to be Colorado Trevor Story again.
he's not. He's not.
Yeah.
And so what do you do?
Right.
Because
it's a
you can't call. The hard thing is Boston can't call Franklin Arias up because
he might be
you
worse.
don't
than
want
all three of them.
him to spend so much time called up that he can't play minor league ball next year.
Right.
during
So
the
he's not
lockout.
considered a rookie.
You want him getting those reps. So you can't call him up now so that you can have a better shot at him being able to be on the playoff roster. You have to wait if you're Boston. So
and we're also not assuming this guy's just going to save the whole thing either, right? He's pretty good.
he's good, but it's just like with the prospects that they traded for Rutschman or even Christian Campbell. Like, you don't know until you know.
Right.
I'm kind of glad you
And
brought
that's
that
the
up.
hard part about baseball prospects is there have been some guys that didn't get drafted until the 12th or 15th round that are Hall of Famers, and there's some guys that are early first round picks like Arias that didn't make a full season on the active roster before they were back in minor league ball and never seen from again.
It's Roderick, right? Is his name?
Franklin,
He's a former Yankee prospect. Oh, Franklin. Okay, never mind.
It's Franklin. I think it's Franklin Arias is his name, or
okay,
Arias or Arias, something like that.
Yeah,
Kyle,
and
we put it in the chat.
We just had kind of the same situation, Tony, in New York. We didn't have a shortstop basically, or a consistent one, and Lombard's actually done a very good job. Like, I feel like Lombard was a good.
I had a feeling he would.
Yeah, he's a pro. He looks like he's a good kid.
He's done well since coming up. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He can handle the New York media better than some young guys can, and I think that's a positive thing for the Yankees for the future.
He also had 8 defensive runs saved in 10 games, which put him like 3rd in the league. And everybody else played like 100 games, and he played 10.
Yeah,
and he had 8 defensive runs saved. So he's a good defender, real good.
He's a great defender, and I think he's going to be a huge help for Boston for the Yankees. But I still think the Yankees only go so far unless they can get Judge back and healthy. As long as he comes back ready for October, I think the Yankees realistically can be whoever wins out of Boston and New York should absolutely be in the ALCS.
Well, fuck, Tony, I wish like they would just. I mean, I hope that that's what they're doing, right? Because I don't think there's that much wrong with him. Like, he should be back already. We were told this was going to happen way sooner. So yeah, it's just weird.
It is
load management. Will.
Oh, yeah. I hate load management. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for us here on the Sports Report podcast. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming through. Appreciate you guys. Sorry for my webcam issues or my camera issues. I should have it fixed by next week. But if there's nothing else, we thank you to Wire Network. Big thank you to Razer, sponsor tonight's episode. Head over there, get your Razer main creator bundle, mic and headset, $249.99. Head over to Razer.com to pick that up. If there's nothing else, we'll see you guys again next week. Have a good week. Have a safe week. Take care, guys.
Iowa has bad corn.